Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Najwa binti Nurizan and my metric number is S58215. So in this video, I would like to share how to prepare a BPD that document becomes a business process. BPD is stand for Business Process Diagram. Is actually a visual way to describe the different steps or activities in a business process. Okay, now without further ado, let's prepare the process. Here I am going to use Microsoft Visio to prepare the process. First step is I'm going to choose the basic shape to make the process.
Firstly, before we start anything, we have to make a table, which is this table divided into two columns. The first column is employee and the second column is activity performed. And the first row, we start from a retail store. On a weekly basis, each store receives its inventory to determine what is requisition from the center warehouse. When a store runs out of inventory, it is dangerously low. It can send a rush order to the warehouse. So the first is weekly and rush order, and the second is quarterly, which is each store counts its inventory at the end of every quarter and reconcile it to the corporate database. To complete the process, we have to use the symbol to show the process. So, firstly, we use the small circle. This is a small circle is presented to show the starting or the beginning of a process. Next is arrow symbol. An arrow here to inform the flow of data or information is indicated. Next, we followed by H rectangle. This is to show an explanation of the activity is placed inside the rectangle. So, the explanation is count inventory and reconcile to corporate database. This is the explanation under quarterly. Next, we followed by arrow symbol again, and arrow here to inform the follow of data or information is indicated. And the lastly is circle symbol. This is circle symbol to show the end of a process is presented by a small bold circle. Next, for weekly and rush order under retail store, we start from a small circle to show the starting or the beginning of the process, and followed by an arrow to show the to inform the flow of the data or information is indicated, and H rectangle which is explanation of the activity inside the box. So here the explanation is review inventory, place order, next from this rectangle we use another arrow to show the process go down and make another rectangle. This rectangle, the explanation about this rectangle is fill orders, authorize delivery, ship goods. After this process, we move to another process is use another arrow to show go up back and make another rectangle. The an explanation of the activity is placed in the rectangle, and the explanation is receive goods. So to end this process, make another arrow and use the a small bold circle to show the end of the process. So this is show the retail store requisition. The retail store electronically submit a retail store requisition to the center warehouse when they need tires or supplies. The warehouse shipping clerk fills the order from the inventory and authorize store deliveries. So the second row explanation is shipping clerk. Next, we move to the third row of the process. In this part, the explanation is warehouse, inventory, control, clerk. In this part, we start from quarterly, inventory control department. Responsible for the maintenance of a perpetual inventory records, including quantity on hand, order point, optimum order quantity, and quantity on order for each item carried. So we start from small circle to show the starting and the beginning of the process. So next, to show the flow, we use arrow. Then we use a rectangle. Inside this rectangle, we will explain about the process. So the explanation is maintain and update perpetual inventory system. After that, we followed by another arrow. Then we use the small bold circle to show the end of the process is presented. Next is on weekly and rush order purchase requisition. The system notice if the inventory control clerk when the quantity on hand for an item stored in the central warehouse falls below the designated reorder point and prepares a purchase requisition. The inventory control clerk adjusts the purchase requisition is needed, approve it, and forward it to the purchase department. So we start with a small circle to show the starting and continue with arrow to show the flow, and use the rectangle, each rectangle to make an explanation inside the rectangle. So in the explanation in this rectangle is system generate purchase requisitions. Next is arrow symbol to show another flow of the process. After that, we put another rectangle and the process is continue for the explanation is adjust and approve purchase requisition. So to continue the process, from this rectangle, we make another arrow go down for the next row of the process. The explanation is finalize and approve system generated purchase order PO. Next, we follow by another arrow on the left, on the right side, and followed by each rectangle for the another process. In this rectangle, the explanation is send purchase order PO to vendor. So to end of this part of the process, we make another arrow. Then we use the small bolded circle to show the end of the process. So on the fourth row here, the explanation, the point is purchasing department. Next, on the final and approved system generated purchase order, the second step is we have used an arrow to go for the next row and put the symbol of rectangle, and the explanation in this rectangle is receive system prepared receiving report. For every purchase order, the system prepares a receiving report showing the goods ordered but not the quantities ordered. When the goods arrive, the arriving clerk enters the date they arrived and the quantity of each item received. The complete receiving report is sent to account payable. So the next process is use an arrow to go to the right side and put another rectangle to make the explanation on it. And in this box and this rectangle, the explanation is receive goods, complete receiving report, date and quantity. So the title of the fourth row is warehouse receiving clerk. Lastly, for the last process, from the received goods and complete receiving report, date and quantity, from this rectangle, we make another process for the fifth row, which is make a rectangle, and the explanation is get receiving report and purchase order. This is to maintain all open account with vendor and other creditors. Account payable receive and reconcile the vendor invoice, purchase or order and receiving report. Any discrepancies and clear up, and the vendor invoice is paid within 10 days of the receipt of goods by electronical transferring the amount due to the vendor's bank account. So the process is also come from the purchasing department, which is finalize and approve system generated purchase order. So the process will continue, and the arrow will be on the right, go for the right side and put another rectangle, and the explanation is receive vendor invoice. Next, the process with another arrow and put rectangle, and the explanation about this rectangle is reconcile purchase order, receiving report, invoice. Next, another arrow symbol and another rectangle, and this is the last process. The explanation is disperse funds to vendor. So from this vendors send Becan an electronic invoice that show the goods shipped, their prices and total amount owned, and we continue with the last arrow and small bull circle to show the end of a process is presented.
Next, I will continue on the second part of this assignment on case 2. In this case, I should prepare a program flowchart to help Malani program this process. A program flowchart illustrates the sequence of logical operation performed by a computer to executing a program. So to show the flowchart, I will also use this Microsoft Visio. So let's go.
Firstly, we start with this symbol. This symbol called terminal, which is a beginning of interaction in a process. So, the explanation on this symbol is start, and we continue with arrow go down to show the process. Next, we use this symbol. The name of this symbol is decision. So the decision is making. So the explanation in this inside this symbol is input, weight, and height. Next, we followed by another arrow to inform the flow of the process. Next, we take rectangle to show and to explain about the process. So in this box, in this rectangle, the explanation is body mass index, which is BMI. BMI is equal to WH2. So next, we take an arrow, go down, and followed by decision symbol. In this symbol, the explanation is BMI below 18.5, which is BMI low than the 18.5. Next, we move to another process, which is an arrow go to the right side and put another rectangle to show the process. The explanation is weight status WS equal to underweight. So if the BMI is below than 18.5, it is show the underweight. Next, from this decision, we take an arrow and go down and put another decision, which is explanation about this decision is BMI over 25. So the BMI must be larger than 25. Larger than 25. So this is show the result is not BMI below 18.5. Okay. Next, we will continue on the right side, which is the use the table and rectangle. The explanation on the left side is WS, which is what status, weight status equal to normal, and the right side is WS weight status equal to overweight. And if the status is overweight, it is show this is yes to talk about the decision BMI larger than 25. And if the weight status is normal, it is show no. So next, to connect 3 point here is we use small circle. The name is one page connector. This is connects the process flow on the same page. It use a void line and crossing a page. So we use an arrow from weight status equal to underweight, weight status normal, and weight status overweight. And connect it to the small circle. Next, the process from the one page connector, we make another arrow, go down and put another decision. So the explanation is print weight and height, BMI, and WS with status. And this is show the last process. So next we use an arrow and followed by a terminal symbol, and the explanation is end. This is flowchart to help Maleni program the process. So Maleni is doing a study on various weight loss plans and need to determine an individual weight status by calculating his or her body mass index. To calculate a person body mass index, height must be measured in meters and weight must be measured in kilograms. The index is calculated by dividing a person's weight by the square of his weight. The result is then compared to the following scale to determine the person's weight status. Below 18.5 is equal to underweight, 18.5 to 25.5 is equal to normal weight, and over 25.0 is equal to overweight. 500 people have agreed to participate in Maleni's study. With so many calculations to perform, she would like to program, computer program will do this calculation for her. So this is the flowchart to help Maleni program this process.
That's all from me. Thank you.